When it comes to products to target hyperpigmentation and dark spots and sunspots, this product from Sachi Skin has a number of active complexes that are going to target different levels of the melanin synthesis pathway. I'm going to break down the ingredient list, but first I want to talk about melanin synthesis in general. So this is my beautiful, gorgeous drawing of a melanocyte. This is the cell in which melanin synthesis takes place. So first of all, these melanocytes are going to receive signals that tell them, hey, start producing melanin. And most of the time, those signals are coming from keratinocytes or your other skin cells, but things like inflammatory markers or free radicals that might be generated as a result of UV exposure can send these kind of into overdrive to produce extra melanin, and that's going to result in like hyperpigmentation over time. So the little dots right there are melanosomes. Those are the organelles where melanin synthesis actually takes place. So there's a sequence of reactions that occur, but basically you're starting with tyrosine, and then that enzyme tyrosinase is catalyzing the reaction that converts tyrosine down eventually to different forms of melanin. So if you see these little arm-looking things right here, those are called dendrites, and they interact closely with our skin cells or keratinocytes. So once the melanin is synthesized, these little melanosomes are going to travel up through those arms and then get transferred into keratinocytes, where the melanin is then released, and then it can show up as pigmented skin. Different brightening actives you've probably heard of act on different steps of this melanin synthesis pathway. For instance, kojic acid is going to reduce the amount of tyrosinase enzyme that's present, whereas like hydroquinone is structurally very similar to tyrosine. So it's going to kind of distract the tyrosinase and basically reduce the amount of melanin that's being synthesized from tyrosine. The Sachi product, though, has a ton of different ingredients that are going to act on different steps of the melanin synthesis pathway. So let's talk about it. Both of these complexes that I highlighted are going to inhibit the signaling that tells the melanocyte to start triggering melanin production in the first place. So once melanocytes receive that signal that says, hey, start producing melanin, it triggers the activity of certain enzymes in skin that then eventually lead to melanin synthesis inside the melanosome. So you are still going to get some signaling because you're not inhibiting it 100% with those first two ingredients I showed you, but these two ingredients have actually been shown to downregulate the expression of certain enzymes involved in that reaction. So even when some signaling is received from keratinocytes, you're still going to see less of an effect on melanin synthesis because of these two ingredients. I also mentioned at the beginning that free radicals can trigger excessive melanin production, so there are a lot of antioxidants in this product that are going to help reduce the amount of free radicals there. So now let's talk about actual melanin synthesis. I mentioned that basically the enzyme tyrosinase catalyzes a series of reactions that take tyrosine and turn it into different forms of melanin. So this product has hexylresorcinol right here, which if you look, it has structural similarities to tyrosine. So this can actually distract the tyrosinase enzyme, and basically the tyrosinase enzyme is going to bind to that active site rather than tyrosine, thinking it's going to start triggering melanin production, but it's not actually going to do anything. So hexylresorcinol is considered a tyrosinase inhibitor based on its abilities to, catfish the tyrosinase, but these other two ingredients right here have also been shown to downregulate the synthesis of tyrosinase in the first place, so you've got less of that enzyme to be active at all. Copper ions are a cofactor in some of those reactions, and gluconolactone can actually chelate the copper ions to make sure they're not available for those processes. And then all of these ingredients have been shown to reduce the transfer of melanosomes into keratinocytes for that final step of the melanin synthesis pathway.